All right, we've got a Letitia James New York case update. The $175 million bond was pulled into question by Letitia James, quoting a New York statute stating the people who put up the bond, the people who put up the assurity for the bond, has to meet certain requirements based on New York state law. The requirements are the capital and surplus of this company can only max out at 10%. So 10% of the bond amount is all there. They have to have that bond amount representing 10% of their cash, of their capital and surplus. The problem with that, with the Knight Specialty Insurance, is Knight Specialty Insurance only has a revenue of $500 million. They only have in capital and surplus $138 million right now, which equals 127%, 130% of their surplus. So they can't even afford to put up the $175 million bond. Now, Letitia James filed a challenge to that to see if their equity qualifies, if their collateral qualifies to actually post this bond. And it looks like it does not. So there's no certificate of qualification, which is a requirement in New York State. Now, this company and Donald Trump's legal team has responded by saying, well, we're not from New York, so it shouldn't apply to us. Doesn't make a difference. That's the Trump response and the response of Knight Specialty Insurance. Now, again, Knight Specialty Insurance is owned by Don Hanley, who is a friend of Donald J. Trump's from a long, long time ago. Don Hanley is also a partner in Axos Bank that helped fund Trump Tower and the Doral Golf Course. That was the last bit of American funding that he received before he started going pure Russia, pure all the time. So he has a little bit of experience dealing with Donald J. Trump, and he is a friend of his, a billionaire friend of his, that was pulled in to do this for him. And it is currently biting him in the ass. So Letitia James has also filed that since the bond amount was already lowered to $175 million instead of the $465 million that it should have been just 2 weeks ago, the court's response was simple. You have 10 days, 10 additional days to come up with that, and the proof being requested and everything else, and the $175 million. If they do not, don't forget, she already put into place in New York and in New Jersey and in other states, she put the paperwork in with the county to collect on the judgment, to collect with the entire 400 plus, well, over 500 million after interest and everything else. So that's actually in place. So if they cannot come up with this, or if in fact this company is found not to be qualified in the eyes of the court within the 10 days and they can't fix the issue, she's going to go in, she's going to be able to collect on his stuff immediately. So that's where we are on that. We will find out what the response is. And I will let you know as soon as I find out. If you notice a pattern here, very much like Truth Social and the use of the Russian tie-ins with the half-owned banks overseas and the shell companies that put the money into True Social and giving them the loan in the 2022 when True Social needed it because they weren't able to go public. All of that, it's the same exact pattern, just different people involved in different types of businesses. So this is an MO thing. This is a Trump thing. This is how Trump and his friends solve these problems, kicking the can down the road with the promises of all this stuff. Now, the big kicker here is the paperwork that was filed originally was incorrect or missing certain documentations, including the qualifications and the things necessary to prove that they meet the guidelines in the state of New York for the 10% of the capital and surplus of the whole company. The court already called them on that, and then Letitia James filed the motion to basically, there's just more than just them screwing up. So they need to show proof that all of this is lineable. But they may have actually committed more fraud in the process of doing this. and Letitia James and and the courts, the SDNY, are looking out for that in their response. They're also going to be examined for the fraud response in the other case as well. So the MO that Trump ran his whole entire life and that his buddies joined in on their whole entire lives with him, the judicial system is onto them. So they're not going to be able to get away with all this stuff. So pay attention. This should be interesting. Within the next 10 days, we can have him pulling the money out of his rear end, someone else stepping up, or both of them going down for fraudulent paperwork to a government. Anyway, okay, stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind. We are all in this together, and this is definitely getting interesting. God bless.